All right. Hopefully this actually works. Wahoo. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? Out there in YouTube land. Get myself organized. I'm a little stressed. YouTube stressed me out. Big time. Hey, look, I got my hair cut. Woo! Fancy, huh? Lady's like, you sure you want a number 2? It's awfully short. I'm like, lady, I haven't had my hair cut in 10 weeks. 10 weeks. So how y'all doing? Glad to hear it. Wait, my screen's a little fogged up. Hold on now. Let's clean it off. Wahoo. Hey, y'all. Is this working? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Let's turn down the shades a little bit. I should have wore a solid color. You know, when you do TV, they tell you never to do patterns, but this is just what happened, what I've been happening to wear today. Let me get some of my energy tea going. Thank you all so much for being here today. I am Spiritman, Joseph Tittel. And it's a pleasure to be here, as it always is. Always, always, always to be a pleasure to be here. Always. So, today, happy full moon, new moon. New moon. Yeah, it's a new moon. It's new. It's all new to us now. This is like the 20th time today somebody said, I can't wait to get back to normal. I'm like, yo, normal does not exist anymore, folks. That normal that you remembered back in February, that does not exist anymore. It will never exist again. So get used to what I call the new abnormal, because that's what it is, the new abnormal. So what we got here? Give me a minute. I'm going to just make sure I share this to my social media. So my social media people, if I can actually find, I had to do it different tonight because I, of course, as always, can I have some spirits? I could go for a spirit right about now, but I'll deal with my energy tea for now. That'll work for good. I got lots of work to do. Got to stay up late. 122, what a good number. What a good number. Can somebody put the link to this in my chat for me so that I can share it with my social media and, my face people? I got to watch what I say, I got to watch what I say, because that last video I did about the cards, that creepy video. Yeah, well, of course, YouTube, my best friends, took all my monetizing ability to make anything off of it. So no money on that video, except for the super chat money that I am so grateful that you all send to me. And then anybody that sends stuff through PayPal, I am always, ever so grateful. So cool things. Today is the new moon. Happy new moon. It is a 22 new moon. And we had a 22 new moon last month too. And it's powerful, powerful cycle. 22 is a master number. Master numbers are 11, 22, 33. 33, they say, was Jesus's number. People that are born on the 11 and 22 have significance to their, everybody does in their own way, but has deep significance to their birthdays. I'm a 22, actually, which is an honor and a privilege. And a lot of the things that you enjoy today in your modern day life, a lot of the inventions that you enjoy, even a lot of the music you listen to, is actually created and invented by people that are born on 22 days and 11 days. Bet you didn't know that. That's a good one, right? Well, maybe you did know that, actually. Who am I to judge? I don't know. So with this 22, because I was just looking at the calendar and we don't have a 22 next month. We had 2 22s in a row. 22s and 11s are big days, especially 11s. Well, both of them, actually. It doesn't matter. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. And that dark cabal, I don't even want to say the I word anymore because I don't want to get banned. I put a lot of time and energy into videos and talking to y'all. But right now, it's just kind of tea time, relaxing after dinner. It's 7:40 p.m. here, Sedona time. I should have been on 40 minutes ago, but it wouldn't let me get on. And I had to do it a different way today. I usually like to do it through my Zoom panel, but it wouldn't let me. Tell me, okay, I thought I was frozen for a minute there. I was going to flip out. Going to be like, oh my God, I'm frozen. Did somebody put a link up there for me? Deb. I love you, Deb. My master apprentice student. Nope. Don't cancel. Damn it, don't cancel. Oh my God, would I have a heart attack? So let me just get that out there on my face. Biatches. Because I got to watch what I say, you know. They'll ban me, you know. It's pretty ridiculous. It's very ridiculous, actually. It seems to be the going thing. My friend was telling me about Joe Rogan and how Joe Rogan was just given $100 million deal to go over to Spotify, and how Spotify made like $1 billion in one day or something because of it. But at the same time, people don't realize that even with that, they're being banned, they're being filtered, they're being shifted and told what to say and what they can't say. And this is where I said in my last video about the cards and the specific card. And this is the thing, I'm on a different platform and I can't do it through my Zoom today like I normally would like to do. Don't know why, excuse me. But so I can't show you pictures and things that I'd like to show you. But that's all right. I wanted to talk to you more about predictions and prophecy today and what we all have yet to come in the world, because we're in a very amazing, challenging, but amazing. And, you know, as Spirit told me a while back, the earth and all of humanity is pregnant. You're all pregnant. Did you hear? You're pregnant. We're all pregnant. And we are pregnant with quintuplets. That's a lot of babies, girls. Boys, it's a lot of babies. We're pregnant with quintuplets. And it's a challenging labor. I mean, it's like a challenging labor, like 4 months on bed rest in the hospital. And it's all coming to a break. And they say you're going to go earlier, but you go later. And before you know it, you're going at the normal time of expectancy. And we give birth to a beautiful, beautiful litter of quintuplets, whatever. And that's what Spirit showed me that the earth is in right now, and all of humanity is pregnant like that. And in order to go through this birth, of course, this birthing channel is a hard, long birthing channel, both for all of us on individual levels and then all of us on other levels. And I got to tell you, I'm like so blessed and so like awesome with the blessings that Spirit sends to me. And so I'm going to show you some things that happened to me over the past couple of days. But first, I want to talk to you about what's going on in the world and the predictions. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is my Trump prophecy video that I did back in 2016 out of my house back east, that house. This is Oriana in Sedona, Arizona. I did that video, and it's not my prophecy. You know, when I say predictions, it's me. When I say prophecy, it's not me. That's the difference. That's the way I like to try to keep the difference between the two. And just actually for all y'all just signing on, because I know we just doubled in the amount of viewers. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Joseph Tittel, aka Spiritman. Be sure to subscribe down below. Click the little subscribe button. Click the little bell, ding, 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 so you get notifications so that when I'm on live and doing live events, you know when I'm doing it. Go to my website, josephtittel.com. Sign up for my newsletter. I'm about to send one out. I just started my new Patreon page. I'm really excited about that. I also put out my Transform into Abundance 6-week program that I did years ago that's so powerful in manifesting things and making things happen. And that's actually a special bonus sign-up offer on Patreon. The first week for everybody. The second and third week for patrons, Spirit patrons, and Master patrons. And then the whole program's going to be available for my Master patrons. So check it out. I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to be able to do something on a platform that I don't have to be monitored and cut and told what I can say and what I can't say. And then I'm bringing back my very well-known popular radio show blogcast that I did for 7 or 8 years. I'm bringing that back on Patreon. And I'm doing that in 2 different forms where I'll do for masters once a month. I'll do questions, reading type questions and such like that on there. So I'm really excited about it. Very, very excited. I have all kinds of guests signed up or getting ready to be signed up for interviews. Some of that I'll still bring here to YouTube. Don't worry, I'm not going to dish you all YouTube people. I understand. I love you. You are my followers. You keep me going. So just wanted to update you with that. So the Trump prophecy video, go back and check it out. Over the next couple days between now and Tuesday, I got a lot going on with working on different part series on the cards. But I want to get the actual Trump prophecy video updated first because it's really, really kind of creepy. And actually, I'm going to pull that up, actually. True White Brother. It goes back to 1984, I believe it was. And it was written by a Hopi indigenous native from Hopi land, Arizona, which is basically up in the mesas, 3 mesas, first, second, third mesa, Arizona. He was in his 80s. I think he might have been 82, 83 as well. Pretty sure it was written in 1984. And I remember when I did this video, you know, people like to come to their own conclusions. And hey, that's what we are. We're humans, folks. We're here to come up with, we're here to debate things. Because when you debate things, you come up with better ideas. And sometimes when you debate two things at different forefronts, you come up with something even more amazing. So it's all cool. And actually, it was somebody on my Facebook that brought this to my attention. And I was like, holy poo-poo-doo-doo. That's exactly what it is. That's why I got to go back, and I'm going to really do a part 2 to that. But I want to bring that up to you first. I don't know the wording. I'm going to try to pull it all up, bring you the wording. I know it's on my computer Mac somewhere here. It was in Hopi mythology. It's not mythology. I just pulled something up and said Hopi mythology. This is not myth. This is true fact of what they predicted. And he wrote, this Hopi indigenous native, about the true white brother that would come. And when I read that 3 days before the election. And I remember I literally fell off my chair and said, holy camoli, cannoli, Philadelphia. Holy cannoli, Donald Trump's without a doubt going to win that election. I put it out too. I put it out there to all my people on social media and such. And it talks about the true white brother who comes. And again, don't quote me on this. I'm just going by memory here. I will put out again a video on this soon. And again, to my Patreons, I will. They will always get the first uploads to all my videos. They will always go there first. Some of them, most of them will go from there to YouTube. Same day. YouTube takes for some reason. But, you know, that's how I'm going to do it. Because I want my information to get out there knowing that it's not going to be filtered or anything. Let's see if I can find this. I meant to look for this earlier, but I just haven't had time today. As I drink my energy tea, I'll probably be zooming in about 10 minutes. Yogi, what is it? Good mood tea, energy or something like that. It's good tea. So it talks about the true white brother who comes from the east with many in his following. Now go back to the election. You got to look at this at my perspective, because when I did this back in 2016, I could tell you right now, people were like, oh, that's not right. And that's not him. And that's not true. I'm telling you, I know it's right. I know, especially at this point in time, I know it's 100% correct. The sad part is in that prophecy, it talks about if he fails at his mission. He failed mission. And the darkness, the cabal, whatever you want to call them, the big eyes that I say for idiots, made sure that he failed at his mission. That's what they do. They know these prophecies damn good. You saw the cards. You saw the cards in my last video. You can't make that up. I've even had some lady on there say, she was a follower, a subscriber for years. Are you high? Are you on something? Because I was showing you cards and got totally pumped up. Y'all know me. I get pumped up. I get like pumped up and I'm like, oh my God, look at this. It's just who I am. On drugs. Are you high? I was so freaking offended by that. And I went off by that. I don't do drugs. Period. Sobriety. Years of it. Proud of it. And then she deleted the comment of my reply. Bye, Felicia. Oh, that's the way I look at it. Why is this blinking? It drives me crazy, his phone. I can't figure out how to turn off it from blinking. So, yeah, so the true white brother who comes from the east, many his following. Now, think about it. This is written by a Hopi indigenous native in Arizona. In Hopi land, Arizona, if you're writing about a true white brother, or you're writing about anybody that comes from the east is that way, to the East Coast. Not to the Middle East, not to there, like people thought. It's the East Coast. And he had many in his following there, Mr. Donald Trump. And this is the part that really creeped me out, because this is when I fell off my chair and I'm like, oh my God, it's him. Because this is just the part that just, to me, was instantly the red bell, the bells going off in my head saying, I mean, it's definitely him. And it talks about the true white brother, when he comes, will have many in his following. When he comes, he will be wearing a red cap, not a hat, not a bandana, not a bungee on his head, a red cap. Do you remember what Trump wore during that whole election season? A red baseball cap that said, "Make America Great Again." Doesn't seem to be making America great right now, but hey, don't judge, because we still got time to go before these prophecies come into play. I hold in my heart the goodness of all for America, especially because I live in America, and for the goodness of the planet Earth. And I mean, he's it, folks. If he don't do it, we are all absolutely effing screwed. And I know people hate him. I could really care less. I could care less about any of them. For me, they're all dark in some aspect or another. But I still pray and hope that like everybody's wrong on the dark side of that and against him, and hope that he like proves everybody to be wrong. That's just what I hope. I hope that for everybody, not just Americans, but for all of America. Hey, I can hope. I can be wishful. I'm good at manifesting and making things happen. I don't know about on a world level, but on a personal level, if we all hold that hope, be surprised with the universe and what the dear divine Lord and Lady could do for us. It's important. So as soon as I saw that red cap, I knew right away. I'm like, oh my God, that's Donald Trump. He's wearing a red cap. That's too specific. The other part of the prophecy talks about, this part's funny, the man who dyes his skin to appear like ours. Come on, folks, whether you like him or not, and especially all that like him, you got to admit, he's got orange skin. And he's using some awful, crappy sun friggin' stuff because his skin's orange. Either that or there's something wrong. I mean, there could be something medically wrong with him to make him like that. But I mean, he's got those raccoon eyes that you get like when you go to a eyes. Back in the day when I used to tan in a booth, I refused. They would make you take them in with you. I would refuse. I'm like, I don't want raccoon eyes. That's the only thing that kind of throws you off a little bit. But again, he could have a medical condition. We don't know. But the man who dyes his skin to appear like ours, again, if you go by the prophecy, and it is exactly who I'm talking about, he dyes his skin. Yeah, you got to laugh. You just can only laugh with this stuff. But it also talks about in the prophecy, just to go by it a little bit without going into complete detail, because again, I will put a video out on this over the next week. I got 4 videos that I'm working on. It says holiday weekend, besides my workshop masterclasses this week, I don't have plenty of time to do these videos. It says, it names 2 other people. And it says his mission is to align with these 2 other people. And if you go back to my prophecy in my video, I talk about the one is instantly, without a doubt, no hesitation, by the description, it's Putin and Russia. The second one, back in the day, us were completely sure. We were all up in the air and we had guesses and assumptions. But I kind of said my easy guess would have to be China. Well, now I go back to that and think about that prophecy. And of course it is. I mean, again, the first one was obviously Russia. And it basically said his mission was basically to align with these 2 allies. And if he aligned with these allies, fulfilled his mission, the world into a whole new level of abundance and peace on the earth. But here's the creepy part. And this is the part that is where we're at right now on the earth, because I was 100% correct. If he fails at his mission, and I will go back again, just going back from my memory and what I said, when I go back and read this, I'll decipher it even more for you. But it says if he fails at his mission, let's face it, he failed at his mission. Look at what they did about the whole Russia collusion thing and all that. And I told you all from the beginning, and I couldn't stand him as a president in the beginning. Now I'm just neutral and could care less. I just want success for the earth in general, because what he does, the whole earth is going, America especially, but it's going to ripple effect on the whole planet Earth. So I just want good for everybody. I have no, if there's somebody else is better, I can go in there. Please let it happen. But we're out of time, folks. We're out of time, and I got more to tell you. Wait until I tell you about these other things, about time machines and how they've been traveling way back in time. Make that 5 videos. 5 videos I want to put out there for you. 5 really good videos. So if he fails at his mission, the red ants, which at the time instantly we think China. Sometimes Russia is referred to that, but China's the red ants. Instantly it's China. I said it was China. Will come across the seas in the nighttime, will cross the oceans in the nighttime, and will devastate, destroy every city in the United States within 24 hours. I had this whole thing like, oh, crap. If he fails, man, they're going to come in and bomb the hell out of our whole entire country because they can. People are like, oh, no, the United States has got too big of a military. Do you realize their military is more than double our size? And they have more stuff than what we have, technology is concerned? That was my first thought. And I held in the light since 2016 that would not happen. When this whole thing with Russia collusion, I'm like, I know that's why they're doing that. They're trying to team them up against that because that's what they want. Luckily, whether, again, you like Putin or not, doesn't matter. I'm not saying he's a good man or whatever. I don't know him and I ain't no judge, but he knows about this. That's the one thing I will say. He knows. I have video clips of him saying, we don't want war. We don't want war with anybody, especially America. On video saying that. I have a video of Putin saying, there's a darkness in control of the planet Earth who wants to destroy and take over the whole entire economical system and all the money. So he knows he's onto the dark cabal's whole agenda, without a doubt. It's a great video. There's also a video of this high up colonel or lieutenant, whatever, in Russia, on an interview going off about the whole current situation. Because I don't want to say anything, because anything I say, it'll be filtered and caught by the YouTube bots and block me, going off about it and how it was all planned ahead of time and how it's wild. And I don't think I got that out to y'all because I just got so many clips. So with that said, so Russia's aware that, that's all fake. And then comes China. And this is the part that made me really worry about the whole entire, destination of the planet Earth. And he started going against China, and China wasn't aligning. They were making all those issues with China. I'm like, Russia aside, China's the red ants. And then when that whole thing happened with all the imports and all that, I was like, hopefully this is something that's going to actually shift it for the better. Maybe it'll wake up China and make things balance out. But I don't know. It doesn't seem very good. We pissed off China bad because we cut off all their imports, and literally 90% of what you buy in the stores is from there, including Lucifer's Hub. That store, the Big View, that was actually created to push goods that were imported from China specifically. That's why I will not go to that shop anymore. I will never go into that store and buy stuff again. And luckily, I'm in Sedona, and the nearest one's far away down in Cottonwood. Not far, but 40 minutes. And I won't bother. I'm not going there. And it's interesting how this particular store, this big corporation, was doing good on the stock market when everybody else was totally plunging, going down when the stock market crashed. I said this in January that there would be a stock market crash this year. And I remember somebody came on my page and said, oh, you're wrong about everything, blah, blah, blah. And then 2 weeks later, everything crashed. And I deleted their comment. I kicked myself in the butt for that. And I want to go back and be like, oh, all right. Sadly, I wanted to be wrong, but I wasn't. So that all happened. Now think about it. Think about this little cells, disease thingy. What color is it? It's red. Think about the interpretation of prophecy. Nothing is as directly as it sounds. Across the oceans in the nighttime and destroy and devastate every city in the United States in 24 hours. I mean, even with our and all, they'd have a hell of a time doing that in 24 hours. Not that they couldn't do it, but 24 hours. And then I thought about this, and somebody said this to me on my Facebook, and I said, oh my God, it's that thing. It's that thing they sent over. And we know it came from there. They sent it here on purpose. Red ants. The color of it's red. Think about it. It's ants. They spread out. They're all over. They crawl. Coming in over the oceans in the nighttime. Nighttime means you don't see it coming. It's coming across the sea from China in the night. Just devastating every city in the United States in 24 hours. That's exactly what it did. On March 11th, 2020, they announced it as a major, massive pandemic in the United States and started shutting everything down. And again, going back to my predictions in January, I said March 11th would be a significant date. And it would be a huge date. And that's the exact date they announced it. But think about it again, talking about numbers, 11, 20, 33. Which you'll notice on my Patreon page, that's what my levels are, 11, 22, 33, because I use it in the positive aspect, but they can be used in the dark aspect. Big events happen on 11 and 22s. You look back at a lot of the mass shootings, they happened on 22 days or 11 days. 11 days is the 11th and the 29th. Don't get that wrong, because 29, 9 plus 2 is 11. So look at Hurricane Sandy came in on the 29th. Hurricane Katrina came in on the 11th. 9/11. So just to give you examples, which takes me to my predictions for upcoming events. So coming up, today's the new moon. Have you all noticed how intense and emotional it's been the past 3 or 4 days? Luckily for me, knock on wood, I've been good with it. Usually I'm heavily affected by it, but I've been really confined into my space, ceremony, my morning ritual, and focused on business, that I didn't plug into that. I plugged into all my blessings the past week. But I know, like my dear friend, her cat passed this morning, 22-year-old cat too. How about that? I just thought of that, 22. And friends back east are experiencing a lot of emotion. All my clients today, all my clients yesterday, big, heavy emotions, which is odd. And then have you all noticed, have you been having problems with things breaking down? My one friend, her heater and air conditioner broke, her refrigerator broke. My other friend, her daughter's car broke down, and I think their air conditioning broke down. And I'm like, that's really weird, because we're not even in the Mercury retrograde yet. So this is a little pre-taste, little tease from the universe as to what we're about to go into. Because on June 2nd, we go into the next major energy shift. And you hear me talk about it all the time. We go through 3 of them a year. And next one starts June 2nd. It ends July 26th. They're long cycles. They're heart-wrenching cycles. And this one's going to really, really be heart-wrenching for those that are cancers out there. My moon sign's Cancer, but I embrace it because I'm so used to these cycles, being a Virgo and Mercury retrograde and all that, affects Virgo and Gemini. But and then on the full moon, I'm trying to bring that up actually on my calendar, is on July 4th. And I said this again, going back to my predictions, July 4th kept popping up to me. And I've been getting July 4th for years, where it keeps coming to me, something about July 4th, something about July 4th. And remember, what they want to do is destroy our independence, our freedom. They're doing it now by stripping away our speech, stripping away our rights to go out, stripping away our rights to go do things. That's what they're doing. This is the point of this whole thing that's happening, whether you believe it or not. You don't believe it? Look at all the videos I've done. Look at the last recent one I've done about this with Fauci and all those losers talking about it and planning this. And I ain't nothing, folks. If I get time, I'll touch a little base on what else I found, because it's shocking. This is where I wish I was on my Zoom platform so I could show you. But I'll take a picture of it on my computer if I have to show you. That's part of what they plan. And I'm not so much worried about the next cycle. I'm not worried at all, actually. It's the awakening. People are awakening. It's happening on levels that it's never been seen before on the earth. This started in 2012, but man, this year that awakening is on like high level, and we're in a 2020, 2-2 day. It's a 4-year. It's powerful. It's only going to get more powerful from this time forward. So I don't know what's going to happen on July 4th, but I'm thinking that they're going to try to do something to destroy our independence. They want to bring this thing back. I mean, you saw Fauci and all them talking about it. Oh, it's definitely going to come back in the fall. How the hell would you know that? The same way he knew it in 2017, January, and he said that it was going to be a great pandemic outbreak in the next administration. 4 years later, great pandemic, right before the election. Come on, folks. This stuff happens always right before elections and election season. Anything to sabotage, break down the economy, break down everything. I mean, to me, it's just obvious. Just look at the situation. And the thing is there's going to be a fight because, presidents fight, and there's a fight between the dark and light. Whether he's dark or light, doesn't matter. Things are turning around. Things are opening up now. And they didn't want things to open up. They did not want things to open up at all. The dark. And it's opening, and that just pisses them off even more. And now that it's opening and we're going into that second shift, That first shift was in February, March. March 11th, when they made that announcement, we were in a big energy shift. We were coming out of it. It ended March 26th. We're going into the second one. So the full moon, again, is on July 24th. July 4th. July 4th, the date July 4th. And I talk about these energy shifts. If people, y'all that follow me know this, they're always accurate. When I talk about these intensities and crazy stuff happening on the earth, it's always 100% accurate. So the full moon is at 9:44 p.m. my time. I guess that would be 7:44 East Coast time on July 4th. It's in the evening, thinking that something will probably definitely happen that evening and soon after. All the way until the 20th of July, which is the new moon. So from July 4th in the evening all the way until the 19th of July is when we're in a super duper energy shift. That's when it intensifies like never before. And that's when we have major, major crap happens. Because, if we go back to March, let me go back to March on my calendar, March 11th. March 11th, the full moon was on March 9th. 2 days later was the 11th. Need I say more? That was the super intense period of the March and April shift, or February-March shift. Super intense period. As if we were coming out of it, because we came out of it at the 26th of March. Now let's take that back to July 4th. It could be a week later, the 11th, because they love to use those numbers. They use them in their way. But I still think 4. Because if you take 7 and 4, you got an 11. July 4th, that's an 11. Just saying. And then also, the 29th of July, we're out of it by that point. But I'm thinking also June 29th, which I think, I could be wrong. Isn't that June 29th, Trump's birthday? No, that would be Cancer. He's not a Cancer. So there you have it. Even though June 2nd, we go into the shift, the retrograde pre-shadow, the 5th is the full moon. We're not quite in the retrograde direct yet by the 5th. So they're going to wait. And where they're going to hit us the most, folks, is October. And that's really what I wanted to talk to you all about today. I'm telling you, I don't stress you, and I don't say this out of a fearful way, out of a guaranteed way. I still hold hope and hold in the light that everything shifts. But right before the elections, October, folks, what happened right before the election with the whole Obama thing? Hurricane Sandy. They do it on purpose. They even, I don't remember, it was so long ago, but I lived right near there. I got hit by Hurricane Sandy. I remember not having power for a week. And that happened on October 29th during an election season for presidential election season. So now we go to this October, September 23rd, we begin the last shift of the year. So September 23rd is the last shift. And it lasts till November 19th. So, because there's 2 full moons in October. The first, the very first day of October, and the last, Halloween night. Halloween day, it starts at 7:49 a.m. my time, which is like 4 in the morning, 4:49 a.m. on the East Coast, but it's still Halloween. Halloween starts off with a full moon. There's an eclipse on one of those, I forget which one, shift, direct retrograde. So we start the 23rd. October 1st is the first full moon. And I'm thinking, that's 10-1, that's an 11 there. If you put them side by side anyway. I'm thinking Halloween is where it's going to be. And I'm thinking a couple days before Halloween. Because Halloween, 31st of October, is when we go into the intense period. From October 31st until November 14th. Super intense period. So the 13th it ends, actually. It's, early the 14th. The whole cycle ends on the 19th. So I guarantee you, folks, come October 29th, it's going to be big events. One of those events, I believe, is going to be some type of tsunami or tidal wave. I had a dream about it. I had a dream about it the other night, and it was the most real, most visual dream I've ever had in my entire life. I could taste the salt water in my mouth. I could hear the sucking of the wave. And I was swimming in the ocean, which looked like Jersey to me. That's where it looked like. But again, that's just kind of where I grew up and was in the ocean. But definitely United States, because it's right before the election. They want to screw up the United States. So, of course, they're going to do something like that. You know, and if you go back to my last video with the cards that we were talking about, it talks about Fukushima. It literally says right in the cards that they were going to do it. March 11th, 2011. Those cards came from 1990. Come on, there's no coincidence. Saying that Tesla is going to send a special submarine bomb to cause this earthquake. They do. That's what they do. So that's what they're going to try to shoot for. And I don't know. I don't follow elections and stuff. I'm going to say the area where there's the most supporters for Trump is going to be the area they're going to try to hit and wipe out more than anything. So whether that's Jersey, but in my dream, it was Jersey. This wave was 12 stories high, folks. I've never seen anything like it. And it was a tidal wave. It wasn't a tsunami. It was a tidal wave. It was different. I mean, I believe. And I remember I laid on the bottom of the ocean because we used to do that when we were kids. When a big wave comes, you lay on the bottom towards the sand and the wave goes right over you. You just get a little jolt. And I remember doing that, and I got out of the water, and I saw this wave just wipe out everything ahead, which looked like city-ish. Looked more like New York-ish, actually. But that's just a perception of the dream. But also, right after that, in the dream, I was with these people that were supposed to be friends that I have no idea who the hell they were. All girls, actually. They're all dressing up for Halloween. And I remember they came up behind me, almost like sneaking up upon me, and threw a robe over top of me, which was the robe of Gandalf the wizard. They threw the robe over me, and then they put the hat on me and made me a wizard, gave me a staff. And we began to walk towards a party, I guess. And as we were walking, I remember walking towards the ocean. So to me, that's an easy interpretation. And I have never had prophetic dreams like that before. When I was a kid, I had dreams of the big waves in the oceans and the earthquakes, but never since then. I mean, they were two separate dreams in the same night. I got up, used the restroom, went back to bed, and the next dream was about the Halloween. It makes sense to me. It makes sense that there's something coming around Halloween. I take Gandalf, the wizard, as being, you know, a magician who can make things happen. They are going to make this happen. Guaranteed. And I hope I'm wrong, but I bet you I'm not. So let's hold light towards the whole entire country, the whole entire world, especially during that time period. A couple things you're going to see. The elections are going to get really, really crappy. You're going to see racism start to hit the forefronts again. We need to not have that anymore. We need to all get along and love one another. But I just heard that from a friend today that something happened with that, with one of the candidates. I'm not even worth bringing up anything. That's going to hit a big forefront. It's all about teaming us up against each other, fighting against each other. I see a lot of riling up coming up from the South, a lot of protesting and people really starting to get riled up during this next energy shift, especially when we get close to 4th of July, maybe right after 4th of July. And again, I feel like there's some kind of risk to the independence and freedom that happens around 4th of July or starts on the 4th of July. 4th of July is the full moon. So most likely that's the activation day. And then the following 12 to 14 days of that shift, the big energy shift is when you're going to see a lot of uproar and a lot of upheaval in the world. Don't pay attention to the media because they change everything. Going over to the weather and the storms, you're going to see major shifts in weather coming up this summer. And we're going to see the worst year so far in history when it comes to the hurricane seasons. I mean, they're talking 5 hurricanes at one time in the ocean. And maybe 2 to 3 of them, 2 definitely, maybe 3 of them all hit in significant places, including Cuba. I talked about Haiti before. I said that in my January predictions, and I had this feeling that Haiti was going to get hit really bad again with an earthquake. And there's going to be a domino effect with this. Not right away, but months apart from each other. And I feel like that's activating during this next shift coming up June, July. Especially, I forget what the president's birthday is, but I'm thinking they might even do something on his birthday just to really throw something up, spear up his butt, so to speak. That's what they're working on. That's what they're doing. And again, if you don't believe they don't moderate the weather and mess with the weather, do your research. It's in those cards I told you about. When I get the documentary series out on them, you're going to be like, wow. There's just no coincidences. Those are too creepy. I was showing a good friend of mine who's actually ex-military intelligence, and I couldn't believe he didn't know about them. And he was like, holy crap. Now his wife's obsessed with him. I said, don't tell her not to mess with him. She will be obsessed. She will become obsessed. We're all looking to buy them, and it's just like $1,700. So again, going back, big events around July 4th. July 4th until, what was the final date that I said? It's the 4th to the 16th. I lose my calendar. July 4th until the 19th. I'm sorry. July 4th to the 19th. Whole cycle comes to a close on the 26th. Then we're going to start to see things. And there could even be something that comes in around September 29th when we first enter into that next shift of the year. But I'm thinking more than anything, October 11th. Maybe even the 10th, because I think of my mom's death date, 10/10 and 10/11, those 2 days back to back. So the 10th and the 11th. And we're in a little bit of a shift right there. We go through that first one. There's actually 2 energy shifts in October, which is unusual. We don't never have that. We have one that happens during the full moon to the new moon, but we have 2 full moons. So we have a shift October 1st until October 15th. And then we have another shift October 31st, Halloween, until November. What is it? November. Sorry, I lost my mic. 13th. We have 2 shifts. I didn't even think about that until just now. So Spirit must have nudged me to tell you that. 2 shifts at the end of the year. We only never have 2. We always have one shift. We have 2 shifts. So, and I've been saying since October, if all our January 1st, y'all remember that anybody that followed those predictions, I said October is going to be a doozy. And that's where they're making a plan, because it's going to get to a point. I told you, he's going to win the election. It was planned for that to happen back in 2016. It was all divinely aligned for that to happen, divinely, or whatever you want to call it. And they know that. They know that, and they want to prevent that from happening. And they're going to do everything and anything they can to prevent that from happening. And even if it does happen, they're going to make it look like it was a dictatorship taking over, so that you go in out of hatred thinking you're being taken over by a dictatorship. No, folks, I got news for you. It'll be the opposite of that. That's what their plan is. I can't wait to see who Joe Biden makes as his vice president, because that's going to creep me out too. The whole thing creeps me out. And again, I don't like any of them, but I can tell you that Pence is the devil. That's all I can say. He's a very bad man. A very, very bad man. People that don't like Trump or people don't like Biden, either one, take a look at Pence. That's the one man we do not want to get that position. He gets that position, I can tell you they're going to expect people out in the streets and start burning you. He's a very, very bad man. Very bad man. Christian or not, that's what he is. So what else did I want to tell you? I've been here a while. Time to move on. All chats are cleared. I wasn't paying attention to that. Light always overcomes. Yeah, I hope so. Pence murders children. I totally agree. I totally agree. You said it. I didn't say it. You did. Thank you for saying it for me. He's a pedophilic, Satan worshiping Luciferian like the rest of them. Go do your research, Raymond. You said Raymond. Sorry if I called you Ray. You might prefer, just like I prefer Joseph. So I always put Joseph, or otherwise I'd put Joe. Do your research. Look it up. Because there was a guy, I can't remember his name. He's dead. They killed him. That was actually going to court to speak about being raped by the police in Indianapolis, Indiana, and him. I remember him pleading for his life on video, saying, I doubt that I'll even make it to the courtroom. They're not going to let me speak. Yeah, it didn't happen. He died. They do it in a way to make people sick so that they can't do it, to make themselves look good. But, just tune into him. You remember the whole gay wedding cake thing? Where these gay lesbian couple went in for a wedding cake and they refused it. It became a big, big thing in the media and such. And that's when they actually passed a law where they could discriminate. Christians can discriminate against gay people in business. Which, I'm sorry, that's just Christian hypocrites right there. For those who did that, you're a Christian, you're supposed to love thy neighbor. What a friggin' hypocrite. If anything, we should refuse you. Pence was responsible for that. Need I say more? He was responsible for that. He's the devil. Actually, here's a better idea for you. Next time he's on stage with Trump, stare and watch at him in the background. Try to connect with his energy. Try to connect with his thoughts, because I can do that. I've done that for years. I can connect with animals and thoughts of everything. Connect to his energy. He wants him dead. He wants Trump dead. He wants that position. And trust me, I got that from watching him. Like, oh my God, he's sick. Let me show you just a little blessing that happens to me. This is really cool. I was out front yesterday. I went out front to change the hummingbird feeder. And, you know, I've had a lot of creepy things going on here, being followed, all kinds of stuff. You know, you all follow me, watch my stuff, you know, with the star people and such, the good ones and the bad ones. And I'm very dedicated to connecting with spirit and my allies. I mean, I've sat in this office and had a deer come up to my window, coyote come up to my window. This week it was a hummingbird sitting there waving, like sitting there fluttering at my window looking at me. I had this baby yesterday. Can you see that? Yeah, I could be able to see. Good. Oh, there he goes. Look how gorgeous he is. Falcon and hawk energy right there. Literally standing on the edge. I'm telling you, I kid you not. I had music playing. You can hear it on the outside. The windows were open. I'm sitting there talking to this thing, and I started bopping my head. I'm telling you, this thing started bopping its head. And I stopped for a minute, and I started bopping my head, dancing. This thing started bopping its head, dancing. This craziest thing. I'm like, I can't believe this thing's 10 minutes out there. And then the creepy part for me, but was very symbolic, is that all of a sudden it swooped down at me, and I literally thought it was going to swoop down on my head or my shoulder, and I actually ducked. And literally it came down towards me and grabbed with its beak out of the tree a bird and flew away with this bird screaming, which again, I did not want to see that, but it was very symbolic for me, telling me that I'm very well protected and guarded. And that Horus, the falcon, who's actually tattooed on my arm, would take away those who try to prey upon me, sitting in the tree behind me watching. It was all very symbolic for me. This is why I tell you to pay attention to things across your path, things that are in your pathway, allies, as we call them in the spirit world. That's what I teach in my master class. My master students will tell you all about it. My apprentices that graduated will tell you all about it. Wild. Once you acknowledge it, the more you'll see. I talk about this because of symbolism and the things that are so symbolic in the world right now. Everything is symbolic, especially when it comes through nature. And that's why I say these dates coming up and these cycles that we're going through are going to be very, very symbolic. And I'll get more on this later, but I just kind of wanted to touch base with y'all, kind of say hello, let you know that we're about to go into that cycle so you know what we're heading into. Sign up for my newsletter on my website. I always put it out. I'm about to put out a newsletter tonight. It's the next thing on my list tonight. But that's all about my Patreon page and patrons. But I'll have one out usually around the first of the month. I channel that information directly from spirit and put it into my newsletters all the time, especially when we're about to head into a shift. Geminis, you know, we'll go into Gemini first with that shift. Trump actually happens to be a Gemini. Luckily for Geminis always get affected by Mercury retrograde, by the way. But more so, it's going in with Cancer, and Cancers are going to be affected the most. That last shift of the year does start out the day after my birthday, actually. So it starts out the 23rd of September in Libra, but the retrograde is actually in Scorpio, like it was last year. So Scorpios, you may remember, Scorpions, how your birthday was last year, pretty intense. Well, you're going to get hit with that again this year, all the way till the 19th of November, which is a couple days before it ends and goes into Sagittarius. And my best friend's beautiful daughter, his birthday's on the 19th of November. Scorpio. She gets hit every time. So I know she'll be calling me lots of times from college needing some advice, which is awesome because she's awesome. They're all awesome. So let me just take a glance down. Again, thank you all so much for subscribing down below. Click the bell so that you get notifications. I thank everybody for their super chat things, money donation, whatever they call that you send me, because that's really an honor and a privilege. And I don't know if anybody did that, and I didn't look. Let me see if I can scan anybody. James B, thank you. Looks like just James B tonight. That's good. If this is up to date, I don't know. I don't know if it's up to date. So James B, thank you. And then anybody that does that through PayPal with the link below, all the links are below always in my videos, Patreon, PayPal, my website, my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram. Until the next time, again, I hope to get here back with you all tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that, because I really want to go over that true white brother prophecy with you in detail, with the pictures and everything that I come up with. If it's not that, oh, another thing here, y'all can go look this up for yourself. Let me pull it up on my computer. I wish I could pull it up and show it to you. There's a book. Talk about creepy, folks. I told you, you think those cards are creepy? This book was put out in 2010 by the Rockefeller, the Rockefeller Foundation. SOBs that they are. And this book is creepy. It is called, go look it up for yourself, Scenarios for Future of Technology and International Development. Again, Scenarios for the Future of Technology and International Development by the Rockefeller Foundation. This thing literally lies out the whole entire agenda that they have for everything. Why scenarios? Why technologies? The focal question, engaging your imagination, choosing the critical uncertainties. My favorite is on page 18. When you pull that up, go to page 18. I'll just touch base on it now while I have you all on. If it lets me get to page 18. Page 18. Page 18 is called Lockstep. Lock, L-O-C-K, step. A world of tighter top-down government control and more authoritarian leadership with limited innovation and growing citizen pushback. Growing citizen pushback. What are they doing to y'all right now? Citizen pushback. Authoritarian leadership. That's the occult. That's the Illuminati. That's the friggin' Lumerians, friggin' controlling everything. This thing is creepy. I'm telling you, it gives you a whole breakdown of everything that's happening right now. It is possible to discipline and control some societies for some time, but not the whole world all the time. That would be the leader of India, quoted in there. But I mean, I'm telling you, when you read this, it shows the video cameras with 5G. 5G didn't exist in 2010. A lot of this didn't exist in 2010. I mean, it shows you. But that's why I wish I could show you this. It shows it right there, clear as day. And it really talks about the whole agenda of pandemic and all about lockstep and what it means. It's another thing. That's another video I have in there. Scanners for advanced functional magnetic resonance imaging technology become the norm at airports and other public areas to detect abnormal behavior that may indicate antisocial intent. Antisocial intent. So they want to stick MRIs, functional magnetic resonance imaging, so that's fMRI, technology to become the norm at airports and other public areas to detect abnormal behavior that may indicate antisocial intent. What the hell is antisocial intent? In the aftermath of pandemic scares, this is kind of creepy. I gotta blow that up a little bit. Smarter packaging for food and beverages is applied first by big companies and producers in a business-to-business environment, and then adopted for individual products and consumers. Don't know exactly what that means. New diagnoses are developed to detect communicable diseases. The application of health screening also changes. Screening becomes a prerequisite. I can never say that word. Prerequisite for the release from a hospital or prison, successfully slowing down the spread of diseases. So again, this is just crap they're coming up with to make you think that that's what they're doing. But really, it's a whole full control over you and control over the planet. We've been saying this, people have been calling it conspiracy theory for decades. They've been talking about this for over 20 years. And it's all happening. It's happening. How about driven by protectionism and national security concerns, nations create their own independent, regionally defined IT networks, mimicking China's firewalls. Governments have varying degrees of success in policing internet traffic, but these efforts nevertheless fracture the World Wide Web. That's what I wanted to tell you. I forgot about that. They plan on taking down the web, and people have been asking me over and over, when are they going to do the big dark out? When are they going to do the big blackout? That's what I wanted to tell you. Shoot, I totally forgot. Hopefully people hung on this long. You need to make sure that you have at least 3 months of food stocked up. And now that we're out of it and we're coming out of it and you have the summertime and people going back to work, you need to go out and start buying perishable goods like canned goods, pasta, things like that, and stocking the hell up like crazy. And toilet paper too. So that there isn't a whole big ban on toilet paper, which actually makes me really angry. I went to a CVS and they wanted $14.95 for a 6-pack of toilet paper. CVS, they're not supposed to be allowed to do that. $14.95 for a 6-pack? Yeah, needless to say, I left that CVS real quick. And I wasn't even looking for that. I just saw it on the shelf. I'm like, that's like cutthroat right there. You need to do this by the fall. We're pretty good for the summer. There are stuff coming in the way of storms and all, and what they plan in that aspect, and even what they don't plan, but the fall, because they have agendas. Let's all pray together that those agendas don't go into play, but let's be safe just in case, so that there's not a total chaos on the planet, especially in America, because America is the one they're trying to destroy, which in turn will be a ripple effect across the world. But it's the heart of America that they're trying to destroy. They're trying to destroy our freedom. They're just trying to destroy our rights to bear arms. So, it's good to make sure you have protection, even if it's a taser. It's good to make sure you have big 5-gallon jugs of water, lots of them. Start looking at how much water you use a week. Forget about washing clothes at all and getting baths, because when you go into that situation, that's going to be the least of all in our minds. So it's good to be prepared. I told you all this back in February to go get prepared, that it was coming, that you needed to be prepared. Did I not? Now is the time. I'm telling you way ahead of time. Be prepared. I know that as soon as I have the opportunity, I have foods that I'm ordering that are like the military foods. I mean, they're probably, my friends, like, they're probably disgusting. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, if I'm starving and I ain't got no food and can't go out of my house, I don't care. You'll eat anything. You'll be happy to eat that. The kind you add hot water to, but you have to have hot water. You need to get yourself a little camping stove, not a gas grill, because they take up too much gas. Get a little camping grill with a little propane or a big propane you can hook up to it, so that you have the ability to cook and heat up your food. Have a water filtration system just in case, like you have something in case you have to go scoop water out of the creek. Have everything prepared. Be prepared, because they are planning on taking out the internet, because this is how we communicate, folks, through the internet. And this is what's really kind of making them angry. The fact that all this truth is coming out during this pandemic thing. And it really is. You got to admit, I mean, there's a lot of phony baloney crap out there too, but there's a lot of truth. And I see that people are resistant to that truth. Probably none of you that are still here hanging out with me, or you wouldn't be here, but they're going to stop. They're going to pull the internet. They're going to try to pull the electric grid. And they're going to try to do anything they possibly can, even if it's a storm that they use or a tidal wave they use to do that, and make it a ripple effect across the United States. If you're prepared, then you don't have nothing to worry about. No big deal. What's that? Aka Suzanne, thank you. I appreciate that. I just saw that kind of go by my face. Along with Ophelia. Ophelia, I just love you, Ophelia. You like that 1111 number, don't you? Maybe I should have done that on my thing. I should have done 1111 instead of 11, 22, and 33. I should have done 1111, 22, 22, 33, 33. Ah, well, too late. It's already done. I appreciate you as well. Thank you, Suzanne. AKA Suzanne. That's what I said. Duh, I'm calling you Aka. Yeah, so get prepared for that, folks. Be ready, because I know I'm doing it. It's already on my list of things to get done over the next couple of months financially. Every extra money, I'm not worried about buying this or buying it. I'm worried about having all this food stocked up in my house, all the water stocked up, and all the ability to cook and do things that I need to do, including dog foods. If you have pets, please remember your pets. Really important. Make sure you have enough pet food to last just as long as you have for yourself. So if you're doing 3 months worth of people food, do 3 months worth of dog food. I did that when right before this happened. I made sure I ordered enough food to get me there, but then I ordered off of that website without promoting them. And it literally took weeks for me to get my food for the dog. When usually I order off of them and it's literally at my door 2 days later. So even there, I couldn't get the food. So just make sure you're prepared and you have it, because, if your dog don't have food, you're going to start feeding your dog your food. So, and I would say to make sure you have this by my birthday, the 22nd of September, because the 23rd we go into the shift. It's October that they're going to hit us. Again, those 2 full moons, all that, 2 shifts, that's when they're going to hit us, right before the election in November. That's their attempt. Now, hopefully, again, there could be an epiphany that happens with our current leader in charge and the truth coming out. Maybe they'll lock up Fauci and Gates and all of them, and it'll be great, and things will shift differently. But right now, it's not looking that good. The red ants came across the sea. They devastated and destroyed every city in the United States in 24 hours, because you might not think that the cities are destroyed. But going back to where we were back in February and January, they're destroyed. It'll never, ever go back to the way it was. Never. The economy will never go back to the way it was then, unless they put in a new economical system in the light way that shifts it in a better direction. So with that all said, my dear people, cat food, yes, dog food, hamster food, bird food, any kind of food you need to have, get it. Also, I didn't even think of this till now. By October, a lot of places it'll be cold. So I thought of that earlier in the past couple of days about having stock up with some firewood. Even though it don't really get cold here, but if they're messing and manipulating the weather, it might get cold. You might need to have a little bit of backup in heat, blankets, things that you may have. I was looking at solar panels that you could put outside, but man, they were like $2,000 for the place I was looking today. Nope, I can wait. But these are things not just to have for this year, but to have in general for future, because Earth things are going to shift and change anyway. I'm telling you, folks, be prepared this time. Don't be like the last time. Don't be like the crazy people running out to the stores and causing problems. Be ready, be content. We're all pretty much used to what it's like to be in our house for 2 months. So just, have the mindset. It's very likely that this could happen again, so that if it does, if you keep it like that mindset that this will likely happen again, very likely could happen again, excuse me, then when it happens, you'll be prepared and you won't have to be all stressed out and freaked out. Pretty simple. And if they do manage that, you can forget about money and saving all that. Invest your money in gold and stuff, like I've been telling people for a long time. Other than that, it's not going to do you any good anyway. But I hold in the light that the light wins by the end of this year and we go in a different direction. And I'll come back with the Trump prophecy of the true white brother and more information on what I have for you. But until then, thank you all so much for joining me. Happy new moon to you. Get out there, write your goals down, write your affirmations down. It is a powerful new moon for manifesting and making your dreams come true. And I really hope that your dreams all come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. Sorry, I'm corny at times. But yeah, thank you all so much. Love you all lots and lots and lots. Again, be sure to subscribe down below. Be sure to sign up. Visit my links down below in the video. And thank you for your super chat. Thank you for donations. Thank you for your love, because that's what means the most to me. Your love. Till the next time, celebrate life, celebrate you, and have a beautiful evening. Satnam.